Greetings everybody, this is Leviathan here, and today we are going to discuss a little update that's coming to Diablo 3. We have patch 2.6.5 PTR, and the notes for this, patch notes that we'll be going over today, actually came out last week, about a week from today. And later today, when I'm recording this, which is Friday, April 5th, the PTR is supposed to be going live, so I'm actually anticipating that within the hour, potentially later, since last time we thought it would go live midday. And I guess there were some complications or something that unfortunately held it up, and it ended up going live, I think, at like 8 p.m. Eastern, or 9 p.m. even, so it's pretty late in the day. I ideally believe they're trying to get this launched before the weekend starts, so you know, with that much, you know, they never really try to give us start times to lock themselves into, but we do know for certain that PTR should be up and ready for testing at some point today, again, April 5th. So what we have here is right now we're still in the middle of Season 16 on the live servers. That's patch 2.6.4. Patch 2.6.5 is going to go live with Season 17. And as of right now, we don't have a firm start date for that one, but Season 16 is slated to end in the middle of May, so we can kind of anticipate with the way things have gone in the past that we should get this patch somewhere at the end of May, maybe beginning of June at the latest, and that would mean we'd have a summer season, which would be pretty nice since a lot of people are off from school and such, more time to play. That means this will all line up very nicely. So on the docket for today, all the different details we've got, like I was mentioning, April 5th, today, Friday, is the start date for the PTR. Hopefully that'll be up later. There'll be 2 buffs live for that, for testing, increased legendary drop rate and double blood shard drops. There's also been confirmation that even though we have a seasonal theme that's going to be tested on the PTR, which is the free Legacy of Nightmares setup, the lawn rings, you'll have that as a bonus all throughout Season 17. That will be available for testing on non-seasonal only for the PTR, so exclusively for PTR patch 2.6.5, you'll be able to test the seasonal buff on non-seasonal characters, but the point is that it will be a season-only thing when it actually goes live for Season 17. So this should help get testing done relatively quickly. This will be, again, another 1-week PTR, which we experienced last time around before 2.6.4 went live. So that means you got to get in there, get your testing done quickly. They want people to focus mainly on, you know, one class or whatever is the most important thing to you, whether that be group GRs, solo play, get in, test whatever you care the most about, and then get them feedback so they can hurry up and get those in before they finalize all the changes needed before they go live. So yeah, a couple of things that'll be tested, like I was mentioning, limited duration, pick a particular portion of the update to focus on, try to break some stuff. Farm fast, get everything in there. That's what all the buffs and stuff are for again. As far as the actual changes coming to the patch, I have quite a few here. I'll go over them and then I'll give my thoughts on some of them as we go along the way. New Torment levels coming in, 14, 15, and 16. A lot of people have been asking for this. I'm not sure if the overall effect will be positive just because the way T13 works right now, you can pretty much play anything you want to and be relatively quick in it, especially if you're hopping into like public games and stuff. You won't necessarily be held behind too much by someone that's just playing something really wacky or off the wall. You can carry pretty easily into T13. As people try to all force themselves into T16, since people like to play at the top of whatever the highest difficulty is, you may experience some of those less than ideal situations where you're doing a public bounty game and someone just should not be in T16, but they're there anyways. So I guess we'll see how that one plays out. As far as being in your own like coordinated groups and stuff, and as far as the challenge goes, I think this will be fine though. As far as the scaling goes, I believe there's supposed to be like an equivalency of GR60 for T13, and I think the path will carry forward so that it'd be 65 for 14, 70 for 15, and 75 for 16. And the amount of power creep that we've gotten over the seasons, most recently in fact, should make it so that, you know, a GR75 equivalent farming Torment would not be that difficult once you have all your gear together and your sets, and of course with Lawn being a free buff for Season 17 in this patch, I don't anticipate anyone really, once you have all your stuff together, having any issues farming T16 relatively quickly. But this could be one of those things where, like in the past, when T13 first came in, it actually wasn't the most effective thing to just farm that, you know, straight away. You're actually better off in T10, T11 just going very quickly. So it's going to figure out wherever that fastest sweet spot is for your build or your character. That is where you should be, not necessarily always at the top. In any case, let's move on. Portals left behind by treasure goblins may occasionally lead somewhere utterly ridiculous, utterly clearly being a call to cows. So I'm guessing that means, you know, some sort of cow level interaction with the treasure goblin portals and stuff. You know, a little flavor thing there, nothing for the actual strategies of the game, I suppose. Using an ancient or primal puzzle ring in Kanai's cube will produce a new result. Sounds like they're finally taking the community feedback of making, whenever you put an ancient or primal puzzle ring into the cube to make the vault portal, making that be better. Not sure what the actual outcome of this will be. We'll get to test that, but that's a good, you know, taking some community feedback there, so hopefully that will be more rewarding. Party portraits display for players' cheat death buff has been recently used, PC only. That's good to know, so if you're playing in parties and someone procs their cheat death, rather than waiting for them to tell you on voice comms or something, especially if you're not playing voice comms, then there'll just be an indication there on the side to let you know, and that actually can be very helpful, since you might be able to save that person if their cheat death goes off. When a boss is killed in the Nephilim Rift, a permanent ping will mark the location of the boss's death until the rift is closed. That's a great one, just for ease of quality of life. Instead of having to stay in the rift and ping where the boss is when someone else is in the town, closing the rift for you and things like that. Boss notification screen has received a rework. Greater Rift notification screen, Greater Rift completion screen all received reworks. I guess it's just art acid type stuff. Should be fine. Matchmaking no longer prevents players from joining a game while a Greater Rift is already in progress. This will be good for players that are trying to get Greater Rifts together and, you know, want to all be on the same page of starting at the same time and such. Players who join the game will still be unable to join a Greater Rift in progress. So ideally, this is just going to help players find games with each other and make that a bit of a smoother process. Progress bar for a Greater Rift is now visible to all players in the game, regardless of whether they're participating in the Rift or not. So if you're in town, you can see what's going on in Greater Rift. That's good to know. Moving on to quality of life. Additional stash space has been added for all players. PC players getting 5 additional stash tabs, and PS4, Xbox One, and Switch 140 additional stash spaces. This one's been asked for forever. People have been willing to buy them, saying make a microtransaction shop. So this, of course, will go over very well with the community. Everyone wants more space. I'm sure as soon as we get it, it'll all be filled up and people will be asking for more. So this may be a never-ending thing. Maybe every now and again they'll add more. But just the fact that they're actually giving more, big thumbs up on that. Search functionality has been added to the stash, which is awesome. As someone that's recently played a lot of Path of Exile, can't tell you how many times it's really helped. If I'm looking for a specific ring or amulet, just to be able to type in like strength or, you know, eye level 83 or something. It's nice that we'll have that same sort of functionality here on D3, especially with adding more stash tabs. Imagine going through, you know, 18 different stash tabs trying to find that one focus. This will be nice to help make that a little faster. All crafters now have an expand and collapse all button for recipes, PC only. Most bounty indicators are now displayed immediately after entering the bounty area. That's great. Definitely nice quality of life to help speed bounties and make those go even faster. Death's Breath now drop in Heraldric caches. Nice change there too. I know they come out of the Challenge Rift caches, so this is kind of just making those align. And there's also a change coming that maybe will tie into this as well. As far as developer comments on this, they say 2.6.5 is aiming to address some of the longest standing and most desired quality of life features community has brought to us. Hit a little bit of everything with the additional torment levels, puzzle rings, rehauling stash space and size and functionality, and then there are other changes made to help smooth out overall gameplay, with bounties feeling like less of a chore and more rewarding, and reworking a few of the notification screens. There you go. As far as seasons go, Seasonal Journey will now display all chapters regardless of your current progression. That's really nice for people that want to plan out getting ahead of where they currently are. You know, usually you can only see whatever chapter you're on. If you're on chapter 1, but you're thinking ahead to, I want to clear out, you know, an objective in chapter 2 and 3 and 4 at the same time. Now you'll be able to look ahead and do so. Usually that was handled by another third-party resource, d3resource.com. So now this will just be in the game easily for you to track. Good change. This is the buff for Season 17, the Lawn buff. So right now, Season 16, we kind of have the Ring of Royal Grandeur buff, where you get the free Ring of Royal Grandeur. Season 17 is going the other way. You get the free Legacy of Nightmare set. So players' damage dealt is increased by 750%, and damage taken is reduced by 4% for every ancient item that they have equipped while having no set bonuses active. Season of Grandeur was by far our most popular themed season yet, and in the wake of having a free Ring of Royal Grandeur, we saw a lot of requests to try the same thing with Legacy of Nightmares. We've been toying with the same idea internally, and the community requests really nudged us over the edge of giving it a go. So there we are. As far as how the meta will be affected, I think this just really gives more power creep to what's already taking place, because there are a lot of Lawn Necromancers that ended up taking over the speed meta for Greater Rifts. We're also seeing Lawn Wizards impacting the game quite a bit. So now you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into wearing the 2 rings. You can throw, you know, if you were cubing a convention, you can now wear one, cube another ring, so on and so forth. So you'll just essentially be able to add in 2 more rings, and we do know the ring slots tend to be very powerful. So if anything, people will find more ways to add maybe more defense, likely looking for more offense. So players should be able to speed farm even better than they are currently right now. If you're into the Necro and all that stuff, then this is going to be a great boon for you this coming season. Okay, as far as new additional items or changes to items, there's a new potion. You can become immune to control impairing effects for 5 to 7 seconds after drinking a potion. So that's the Bottomless Potion of the Unfettered. That's nice for the classes that don't have, you know, 100% uptime on those transformation skills that make them CC immune, or if they have one of those transformation skills that doesn't actually include immunity. I'm sure this will be a popular potion. A Khan's Leniency. Each enemy hit by your Blessed Shield increases damage of your Blessed Shield by 75 to 100% for 3 seconds. That's up from 15 to 20. So quite a nice boon, nice buff for Blessed Shield for, pardon me, for Crusaders. Guessing that's to kind of push Crusaders with their free Lawn set to go into Blessed Shield play. I'll definitely be trying that out because that's one of my favorite skills. When Crusader was one of my favorite classes. I think that'll be a fun way to play. Bloodtide Blade, Necromancer Blade. Death Nova deals now 300 to 400% increased damage for every enemy within 25 yards. So that's another item that I guess they're trying to push this Death Nova skill to be a bit better. Chantoto's Will. Every second while in Archon form, you expel a wave of destruction, dealing now 4,000% weapon damage to enemies within 30 yards, and then every time you hit with an attack while not in Archon form, 4,000% weapon damage is added to the wave of destruction, stacking up to 20 times, and the wave of destruction ticks now scale with attack speed. So this is just a huge buff to the Chantoto's Will set, which is the 2-handed set for Wizard, or 2-handed, the weapon and offhand setup for Wizard. I'm sure a lot of players will be messing around with that, although that kind of is interesting because it does fly in the face of Lawn, since you can't have sets equipped. So. But I mean, I'm sure they're, you know, with Talrasha and all the other crazy sets that Wizards have anyways, if they're able to find something crazy to work in with that. Or Veers, I suppose, with Archon in this case. Dagger Darts for Witch Doctors. Your Poison Darts and your Fetishes Poison Darts now pierce and deal an additional 400 to 500% damage. I think it's just adding on this damage. I don't think it had a damage increase previously, maybe. Or, you know, I'm not the Witch Doctor expert, but this sounds like a nice buff for Dagger of Darts players. Iron Rose, attacking with Siphon Blood, has a now 100% chance to cast a free Blood Nova, so a little bit of synergy there with Iron Rose and also the Bloodtide Blade, trying to get that Blood Nova, Death Nova synergy going. Jecking Board, another tie-in to the Blessed Shield play. Blessed Shield ricochets to 6 additional enemies and has its damage increased by 300 to 400%, so it's up from 225 to 300. This is essentially undoing a lot of the rescaling of Blessed Shield that they did a couple of PTRs ago, where it was looking like Blessed Shield was actually going to be one of the best ways to play Crusader when they were redoing the Akon set and everything like that. And then as we left that PTR, Condemn ended up just being by far the best way to play Crusader. So this is kind of cool to see them go back on that. I know a lot of players, when those changes were being made, were a bit bummed out that Blessed Shield wasn't getting, you know, the power that we thought it would be coming out of that PTR. So this is a nice call to people that really want Blessed Shield to go forward. And last but not least here, Sage's set now just doubles the amount of Death's Breath that drop. It previously increased Death's Breath, say that 10 times fast, DB drops by 1. So this means you'll be like swimming in DBs if you're gonna equip this set while you're doing any sort of Torment farming. You know, right now, on average, you're probably coming away from the T13 Rift with like 20 to 30 DBs, a rough estimate, a light estimate. So just doubling that, if you can fit Sage into your build, which, you know, a Condemned Crusader can. There's, man, the Wizard build, the Flame Burst build, or whatever the heck it was called before. There are just all these different builds that already incorporate Sage. So just imagine, like, and now going up to higher Torments where there likely will be better drop rates and stuff too. That means you're just going to be swimming in DBs, so a lot of crafting and things like that will be boosted by this. If anything, you'll be hurting more for those regular materials, those your arcane dust, veiled crystals, etc. But then again, you know, you'll be doing potentially more bounties too, because bounties will be easier to complete, at least from the knowing where to go way. So yeah, there's a little bit of interplay there with all these things. As far as developer comments on these item changes, 2.6.4, we focused on making a lot of changes to different class sets to open up build diversity and then level out comparable power between classes. In 2.6.5, we are continuing that trend through adjustments to mostly legendary powers that we feel have a strong fun fantasy but need some damage bumps. So that was the reason why they chose the items that they chose. There's a couple of bug fixes here. An issue in Xbox One and PS4 voice chat within public games is failing to work, so that's been fixed. Fix an issue where the IK set dungeon objective numbers were incorrect. Fix an issue where the player control UI was incorrectly showing 0 players online. Fix an issue where Girder of 71st time completion primal drops were occurring for players even if they did not succeed at the 50-minute completion time. Interesting. Fix an issue where bounties that required interacting with an object would not update the next objective immediately after completing one, so that's again another nice thing to smooth bounties out. Fix an issue where a second puzzle ring tab would be shown in the Knight's Cube UI when a puzzle ring was equipped. Oh, for console only? It's like, oh, I don't understand what that means. It's console. Fix an issue where keywording icons would not show up on the map in Torment level games, so that's a switch fix. Fix an issue where some subtitles in the Taiwan localization would exceed the screen limit, switch only. Fix an issue where the mouse cursor may be hidden when launching the client for the Mac, and fix an issue where players will not be blocked from entering public games with the keywording tag when keywordings have already been defeated. So another help to matchmaking, and that one seems to be an overall change. And that's really it. That's what we've got here. So, you know, the biggest changes here being Torment levels, more stash tabs, searchable stash, the lawn set being the buff or the seasonal theme for Season 17, and then a couple of those items being changed around to boost up their power. So if you're a person that likes to test PTR, there is this whole how to participate and everything like that. I'll put a link to this blog post in the video description below, so don't worry about that. If you need it, go ahead and check that out. I'll be testing, like I said, the Crusader probably, and then maybe some Demon Hunter, just seeing what the T16 feels like and all that stuff. Maybe testing out some Sage as well. Feel free to drop a comment, let me know what you're excited about as far as this patch in PTR goes, if you'll be participating in the PTR, or if you're just going to wait for it to go live and then check it out for the next season. Like I mentioned, I think Season 17 will probably start somewhere in June or early summer, so we are still a few weeks off from that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this, hope you guys are too, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, adios, and have a good one.